Hey everyone, welcome back to the Startup Storybook podcast, where we share stories of college-age entrepreneurs to inspire the next generation of college-age business owners. My name is Turner Ray, and I'm here with my friend Wes Orr, and our guest today is Mahir Laul. Mahir, thanks for coming on. So we wanted to just jump straight into it. Your company is Velric, and you're trying to replace the resume. Why do you hate the resume so much?
Oh boy, that's a very easy but tough question at the same time. I mean, we've been reading the resume since the 1930s, right? I mean, so many things have evolved. Who likes First of all, who likes making a resume? Who likes reading a resume, right? You gotta mess with all these bullet points. You gotta make sure, oh, do these buzzwords sound nice? Oh, am I looking? Did I do this? Didn't? I'll add it anyways. It's I think it's just a paper full of lies sometimes, and companies know that. Everybody knows that. Everybody inflates their resumes. Sometimes people de-inflate their resumes. People don't know what they're worth. So a resume is just not a proper way of hiring anymore, especially since when we have these AI tools. That's my mission with Velric. I want to completely kill the resume using AI scoring, dynamic AI scoring, and make sure that recruiters never have to look at a boring piece of paper or multiple papers ever again. I once saw a resume which was 25 pages long. I don't care if you're the president of a country. I don't want to read 25 pages about you unless if I'm willing to read somebody's biography,
Yeah, absolutely. Velric is using AI to make a scoring system that will essentially show you more about a candidate than your resume would. So can you explain in maybe a minute or two how it scores and what criteria you use to make it better than a resume?
Yeah, so let me tell you, what we're basically doing is we're creating a proof of work system. Can you really do what you say you can do? So think of it like LinkedIn and your credit score mixed together, right? We want this to be available to every single profession there is, and that's what we're aiming for when we launch. So how it works is, let's say I'm in finance and I will come onto the platform. I first of all connect my LinkedIn to the platform. I connect any social medias that I have. Then in a text box, I will write A to Z of every experience in my profession. It could be the smallest or tiniest of things. Even if you think something is irrelevant, put it in the box. And then the AI will scan your LinkedIn. It will scan everything from your resume to everything that you input, and it will make a personalized mission for you. And with that mission, you finish that, and it will make it right away. That's how powerful and strong our LLM is going to be. Once you solve that mission, you're going to then get a Velric score. And it's a dynamic scoring system. So a certain age group, let's say like students, shouldn't expect to get a score higher unless if you're like Daniel Min from Cluely, right? And if you're doing the mission for marketing, then maybe you'd probably get like a 88 or 90, right? But most people should expect to get a certain score. And from the recruiter's side, they don't just put in keywords. They describe the exact type of skills they want the candidate to have, and then the AI using that description matches them to all the candidates that have something similar for that specific positions. And from there, the recruiters can just press reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out, and it cuts the pre-screening costs and time by almost 40 to 45%.
Interesting. Now, the first question that I just thought about when you were describing that was, what prevents someone from using ChatGPT or any choose your LLM of choice and using that to put something in your text box to make their own persona that's not them?
Right. So we actually want people to use AI. We want people to use ChatGPT. We are currently developing our own anti-cheat system, which will have eye tracking, cursor tracking, um, facial recognition before you start the mission to verify your identity, that you're making sure nobody else is doing the mission for you. But at the same time, eventually we want to have a partnership with Claude or OpenAI where we actually have their LLM or maybe even our own personal LLM integrated into the website. So it's not just a text box, and it's not a mission that you can simply put into ChatGPT. These are missions that would probably take you around 2 to 3 hours to finish, and it's a comprehensive mission. It's going to be a multi-stage mission. For example, somebody for financials, they will have multiple documents presented to them, which they'll have to review, right? And once they'll review that, they have to answer multiple questions, and they'll be given specific follow-ups and scenario on the specific mission, so they don't know what's coming next. So they really have to do it right on the spot. I mean, they can just put it into AI and get a very weird and wonky answer, but of course that will reflect their score. And if you can use AI, we want you to challenge AI. We want you to use the right prompts and make your work so good while using AI. If you can do that, this is real work. This is not school, right? We want you to use as much AI as possible in your work.
So I think what I'm hearing is there's kind of two sides to the candidate onboarding. There's them inputting their personal information, whether that's through their LinkedIn, through their Instagram, through the stuff they're in the experience they're putting in the text box. But then do I also understand it correctly? They're going to go through questions based on their field of interest. So like if I'm an accounting person, I'm going to essentially take an accounting test or get kind of a scenario.
It's not a test. It's a proof of work scoring system. So it's basically a mission. It's basically like a project that you would be given on a regular job that you might get as an accounting person, right? It's basically testing your skills of, hey, can you you said that you could do this to our AI. Can you actually do it? Right? And then then it's a dynamic scoring system. And that's how recruiters can hire you directly from the app itself.
And where do these missions, where are they sourced from? Are they from employers?
No, these are made entirely by AI.
Oh.
The AI will scan your LinkedIn. The AI will scan your inputs that you have given it. So basically your resume, it will scan your resume, it will scan your LinkedIn, and then it will create a mission based off of that. And then we want you to crunkle up that resume and throw it out forever.
So
I guess, go for it, Turner.
So if I'm the employer, is there a possibility, say, I'll keep going with the accounting example, right? Say we do our books in a little bit of a different way, or we have a unique scenario that we need someone qualified to do that. Is that something that we can ask your team, hey, make sure that, like, I'll give you our books for a setup of our books for a month. Ask the AI to create a mission that will ensure that whoever this person is completing it in the way that our company does it. Is that something that's going to be possible?
What will be possible is the person from the company, they will put into their recruiting dashboard, into the AI system, hey, we are looking for an accountant who can do this, 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 this. I am uploading some pages for you. I want you to analyze them and find the right person who will be able to do this for me. And based off of that scoring system, they will get the right top lists of the people. And then they could include, oh, I want the person to be based in New York. Boom, cut a few people right there, and it will slowly narrow down that list. But eventually, we want our system to be so diverse and so huge that, of course, it's going to have millions, hundreds of millions of people on the platform. So it's going to be a never-ending list as well. So they can press recruit because we're not saying, oh, this is ending the interview. You still have to interview the person, get a feel for them, because you're going to be working with them, right? You have to meet them face to face.
Yes.
But this is just an extra step in the process, an extra step that's cutting out 40% of the work that the recruiters have to do for themselves.
What I'm kind of drawing similarities to is, like, some positions will say, hey, can you do a week's worth of work for us? Like, come work for us for a week. We want to see how you do in the actual place. And this is kind of like that, right? Because you're getting to see the real work and capabilities of that person through the scores. And
exactly. So eventually we want we don't want this would be technically a replacement for internships and for testing testing to see, oh, come work for us for a week, see what you can do, because that is a solid waste of time, and it's a solid waste of resources. It's a solid waste of time for the other person and the recruiters if it doesn't work out. So that's what we're saying. We're trying to redefine how hiring is done, not just with a product, but with a momentum of, hey, this is how you should do it. You just look at the mission and hire that person, and we will guarantee that person will be able to finish this for you.
Okay, well that raises an interesting question though, because you just said the word guarantee, and
Yeah.
so with that, it's kind of a
Scary
nested
word.
scary word. One, how will you, or how do you plan on gaining the trust of employers? Because it kind of requires that you have at least a starting base to get the thing running.
Yeah.
And also, how do you plan on disrupting some system that's been around for hundreds of years? Like, how do you plan on actually like getting the ball rolling?
Yeah, so we are already in talks with multiple different enterprises,
Okay.
and we are currently raising, and a lot of our investors who are interested are angels, but they're corporations and companies who said, "Hey, not only do we want to pilot your program because this sounds so good to us, we want to invest in the company." So that's the feedback that we have gotten so far. At the same time, your question makes complete sense on how we're going to get. So that's why we recently appointed a CMO as well,
Okay.
and we are really hoping to get people onto the app, join the waitlist, and once around November 15th, that's when we're planning to launch V1. This isn't public information yet, but hopefully it will be soon. But that's when we're planning to actually launch V1, where people will be able to get their scores in, and that's when we'll have our LLM fully developed. And we are hoping to get around 10,000 people per week starting January, and that's the momentum that we want to have. So we want to have a lot of growth from that side, and we also want to have a lot of growth from getting enterprises to join our platform really quickly, because that's the only way that it's going to work. Both of these have to simultaneously go up. You can't have one side's going down and one side is going up. It's going to be a failure. Another tactic that we're going to use is, let's say for example, we sign JP Morgan. Who doesn't want to work for JP Morgan, right? We're gonna tell them, hey, now that you're using our product, we want you to advertise that, hey, if you want to have a better chance of getting hired, or if they're really on board with it, hey, if you want to get work with us, you have to apply through Velric. We will only be analyzing Velric scores from now on, which cuts down on our marketing costs, and eventually we hope for the product to eventually be marketing itself.
That's massive. If you can get a company to say only using your score, that would be wow.
And I'm confident that it will happen. I am very confident that it will. So
Sorry, I have another question. Oh goodness, I just had it.
Oh,
could you tell us? Could you tell us how many corporations you have prospectively on board and how many waitlisted users you have?
yeah, so we haven't onboarded any corporations yet because we're still developing our product. So we're still doing our first round of demos. In fact, we did get delayed by a few weeks because, of course, we all have our ups and downs. We on our waitlist, we currently have around 1,500 people just from, without even boosting it anywhere, just from like LinkedIn, me posting on LinkedIn and putting relating all of my posts to the waitlist, and that's how I was able to get 1,500. And just a few days ago, we onboarded our CMO, so she's just creating up another plan, and we should be getting the ball rolling really soon. We're hoping to gain around 5,000 followers across our social media within the next few weeks. And then once we get up to there, then we're really by January we're really planning to go exponentially.
Wow, that's really cool.
So I want to now ask about your team, because you mentioned you've onboarded a CMO. Who else is on the team? How did you find them, and what do they all do?
Yeah, so the C-suite now is 3 people. It's me, who's the CEO. We have Sarah, who is the CTO. She also goes to NYU, and she's planning to take a leave of absence next month to fully focus on Velric. She's extremely confident in the product as well. She's leading the AI development and everything. She actually refused a bunch of offers from for a full-time job, including equity as well, to join Velric, just because how much she believed in the product and the mission that we're on. And then we have Ashlyn, who is who's worked for Cluely as well, and another job. There's another one of our indirect competitors who I forgot the name, but they were like doing the Tinder for jobs or something like that. Uh, yeah, so she's worked for them as well, and I just with on our first meeting, it was I got the confidence right away. Oh, that she'll make a difference. So I was actually gonna give her like a lead marketer spot and not the C-suite, but I talked to her and I was like, oh, she's the person. So I gave her the CMO spot right there and then. And that's what I would say is the core team for now. And we do have a group of around 25 interns
Oh, wow.
around the world who do different sorts of things. Most of them are currently in our software team. Um, and we are I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are onboarding a full-time software engineer as well, which was in the works, but the person backed out, so now we have to go through that process. And me and Sarah were literally discussing how if only we had Velric to do this for us, because it would have been so much easier, like truly, because then in our AI system we would put, oh, somebody who's ready to join right away and not a month from now, because a month from now we already want to be launched. So those are some of the hiccups that we are currently challenging. And sorry, where was I? Yeah, so we have a group of interns, and now we're planning to expand our growth team really, really fast, especially with the new CMO. We're planning to get campus ambassadors in almost every single major university around campus. We're going to spend some money throwing huge events and really getting those people in the waitlist in the next few months, and getting their scores and people signing up on the app. And we are really going to start promoting UGC and content creation as well. So that's where the team is going. Hopefully, a lot more people to come join the Velric team.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
how did you meet all these people? Are they, obviously you said Sarah's from NYU, which is where you were for some time.
Yeah.
How did y'all get connected?
Yeah, so me and Sarah actually started talking before I got to NYU. We talked over Instagram DMs a little bit, that she was working on something and I was working on something. And back then, I started Velric in the summer of 2025. I had another CTO, but it just didn't work out too well with us. So at that point, I thought it was good to part ways, and I was stuck CTO less for, I would say, around a few weeks. And that's when me and Sarah we got really good friends, right? We were hanging out almost every other day. So at that point, I was like, "Hey, why don't you come join me at Velric?" And she was like, I told her more about it. I told her all the opportunities, and I told her the real big vision that I'm thinking for the company. And she loved it, and she joined right away. Uh, with Ashlyn, I actually got a recommendation from one of my LinkedIn connections. I'd been looking for a CMO for quite a while, but then I stopped looking. But then I started looking again, and I was just trying to expand the growth team on my own. I wasn't really looking to bring this a C-suite level person, but then I did a meeting with her, and she seemed like the perfect fit. So onboarded her right away, and this was, I think, 2 days ago.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And so them two and the 25 interns, are they paid? Are they all equity, or is it just
Yeah, so they most of them are there for experience. We have said that if they continue to stay with us and if they produce results, once we are fully funded, then they will receive a stipend for their work. But if they leave earlier on, or if they aren't producing results, then nothing is guaranteed to them.
I spent probably about 10-15 minutes looking at your website, and I love it. It's really
Oh,
cool.
thank you. We
And
when did you look at it? Because we have been updating it again and again for the last almost every hour. It has been going through some new updates.
I looked at it yesterday afternoon, and
Gotcha.
I just love everything about it, from the smooth animations to the
Awesome.
information that you posted there. It's really clean, and I wanted to bring that up because I am a
Thank
fanatic
you.
for good design, especially in websites. And so,
Thank you.
uh,
I will
can
let
you?
Sarah know. Hopefully, when she watches this, all props to her for that.
She
Yeah,
made it,
yeah.
or
It was
did
all
lead it?
her.
Wow.
Her and her team.
Okay.
So all credit goes to them.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Good job to them for sure.
yeah. 100%.
Okay, so I want to hear now how you got this idea.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I 100% agree with you. I don't particularly like my resume. It so for some background, I'm a musician, and then I have my own business that I'm working on called Embrace Streams. And so I kind of have like two different pathways on my resume. I have
Right.
my playing in professional orchestras, and I have my working at an incubator accelerator this summer and starting this
Right.
podcast and my business, right? And so my
For the
resume,
viewers out there, fun fact: me and Turner went to the same place to study our arts.
yes, we did because
Interlochen Arts Academy. Yeah.
you played cello?
No. I don't play an instrument. I'm actually an actor.
That's right.
Actor turned entrepreneur. Yes. So I was a performance arts major there, and you were there for the summer camp, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, so I did one of it's called Interlochen Arts Academy. It's a kind of
Yeah.
high school program. Uh, I don't know what you call it exactly, academy, I guess. But yeah, I was there for one
Yeah.
of the summer intensives. It was a great experience. And I think
Wow.
I'll bring this up later, but I think there's a lot of parallels between music and entrepreneurship. So we'll bring that back,
100%.
or arts and entrepreneurship.
Sounds
So
good.
that being said, I agree with you. I don't like resumes. So was it like
Yeah.
you were applying for a job and you were like wanted to tear it up? What happened?
Yeah, so let me tell you, I was working with the family business, and I was in the headquarters, and I was looking at how things were going. I was seeing the fact that people were in the wrong place in the corporate ladder. I was looking at the fact that millions of dollars were going to waste with wrong hiring, and I was seeing how that was affecting the company. So right there and then, I literally looked at some of the papers. I was like, "Oh, this is horrible. There has to be a way we can fix this, right?" Well, if we have so many AI systems that judge so many different things, we have self-driving cars now. Why are we still looking at resumes to judge somebody's skills, right? It's such a old-fashioned way of working, and I think there has to be a way that we change that. Uh, so I thought of this idea right there and then, and started working on it from there. I think the first 3 months were really slow for me because I low key had no idea what I was doing. Because for all of my life, I always wanted to be an actor, but as an actor, what I've learned is that most actors adapt and flip the script real quick. We learn quick, we memorize quick, we we know how to change our personalities really quick. And like what Turner said, my arts has really helped me in my entrepreneurship, and that's when I decided that I want to fix this. I think this is a bigger problem. I think acting could wait, so I put all of my focus directly into this. Yeah,
So you were at Interlochen for all, or did you do all 4 years?
I did two
2 years.
years,
Okay.
11 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then you graduated just back in May, right?
Yeah, recent graduate, and then started my time at NYU Tisch. Then I decided, because Interlochen actually gave me such a good foundation for acting, I was honestly getting so bored in some of my acting classes. It was very slow paced, and I couldn't stop thinking about Velric. I couldn't stop thinking about my startup. And I was actually going insane because some of the classes were really time consuming and they were really boring. If I'm going to be honest, a lot of them put me to sleep. Um, and at that point, I was like, oh, maybe I should drop. And I did, but I didn't drop the school. I switched to take some business classes. I was like, hey, let me get my prerequisites done and I will join Stern. But it turns out that for Stern, and for some of these Stern classes that I was taking, they're very tough academically. And Interlochen, while it did prepare me really well for how to live life, a way of living life, and a way of focusing on your art, and a way of acting, it did not focus that much on academics. I mean, yes, it had some good classes, but I myself didn't take any strong academic classes either. So when I went to when I went to these NYU classes, I did have a really difficult time because first of all, I was 2 weeks late, right? Because I did it right before the drop date, so I was 2 weeks late, and my base and core academics wasn't that strong at the same time. Even though I'm a good learner, I can explain if I'm seeing something, I can explain it right away. But things like geometry, math, trig, statistics. Well, statistics, yes, I can do, but like things like calculus, that was difficult for me. And I don't believe I need calculus in this line of work. I really don't believe I need it. Statistics, yes. My stats are, I would say, pretty decent. But I was struggling in some of my classes, and that's when Velric really started to have a lot of traction, and that's when I thought maybe this would be the right time to maybe take a break and see where I can take Velric to.
Yeah. So I'm curious then, what is your technical involvement in this? Are you putting most of the technical burden on your CTO, or?
And the short version, yes. She is responsible for making the AI system. She is responsible solely for all the engineering of it. I'm primarily responsible for the growth, for the partnerships, for the pitching, and really putting the brand out there, making sure that we have good marketing, making sure that everything is going well. Uh, I think we can't. I made a LinkedIn post about this as well. But you can't run a company off of just one person. It's very difficult. You really need to have the 3 or 4 or 5 puzzle pieces to connect together, because each one of them is so important. And a CTO, CMO, CFO, CGO, they're all as important as the CEO, or who. There's no this, you need this more or you need that more. If the whole team is in sync with one vision, then you're unstoppable.
And how have you tried to foster this idea of everyone working together for this amazing goal with people that you've met fairly recently, and they're all young, right? Not as
Yeah.
experienced. How are y'all?
Yeah.
What do y'all do? Are y'all all together, or is it remote?
Yeah, so me and Sarah, we meet every day. We work together. Even though when we're together, low-key, because we were friends first, we start talking about other things in our life than work. So sometimes we just have to be like, hey, you sit at that side of the table, I'll sit here, and we'll just lock in and work. With Ashton, she came and joined 2 days ago, but I feel like she's already on the right track, and she has the vision that we have. It's just a matter of time. Me and Sarah already locked in on our vision and what we want for the company. Ashlyn is very close as well. It's just a matter of time, more communications, and she'll be right up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said your interns are from around the world. So how
Yeah.
did y'all find those people?
So we never actually reached out to anyone. The term "fake it till you make it" really helped us with this. When I started Velric, I glazed it like crazy. I'm going to be honest. I glazed it like crazy. Oh, we are doing this, we're doing that. And the thing is, we were eventually going to do that. You have to glaze 25% more than what you're doing. Even now, you have to glaze 25% more than what you're doing, because eventually when you do that, you glaze a little bit more. You do that, you glaze a little bit more, because the more you glaze, the more people will join you, and the more you actually reach that goal quicker. And that's the trend that I've seen. You have to, especially when you're building in public, you have to give them a little bit more than what's actually happening. Like right now, I'm being almost like 95% fully honest with you guys, right? I'm saying everything's going well, everything's going that, but I have told you a little bit about the hiccups, but you don't know for the fact that maybe I have nothing behind me, right? Which is not true. I do, but I think you really have to promote yourself in that sort of way. And that's how we were able to get interns, because they were like, oh my god, what are these guys doing? I've been seeing them all over my page. People have been reposting their stuff, and that's how we were able to get so many interns worldwide to join us.
Well, I think part of it is, yeah, you're saying like we're here and maybe we're not there, we're here, right? But there is
Yeah.
an aspect of that that is confidence in your vision, your idea, and passion behind it
100%.
too. Like I think it's not like a white lie. Like it's not saying, "Oh, I only ate a cook." Like I don't know. It's not a lie. It's saying
Yeah.
it's showing the passion that you have. And I think for obviously for interns, I'd imagine for VCs and investors, that's something that they're not going to look at in a bad way. It's showing.
From what I've actually heard, this is for you audiences out there who are trying to start their startups. Don't disclose how many interns you have or how many people are working for you, because the more expectation will be up. Because right now we do have a lot of interns, but a lot of them don't really do too much. You really want to have a really lean team, and you want to be committed, and each of them should be committed to what their role is. We took it in a different way, to the fact where the more interns that we have, the more people, the more they write Velric and their experiences, the more the word goes out. And we didn't really stop it, right? And it just kept going and it kept going. And yes, we have a good team right now, but I'll be honest, only 20% of those teams are really really putting the work in. Really, 20% of those people, those interns, are giving are over 25 hours a week to the product, and the rest are giving more like 5 to 10, which is okay, but it is what it is.
Well, and it sounds like it's just one. To be fair, their experience, they're for the
Yeah,
experience, right? And so,
yeah,
like
exactly.
as someone hiring them, you understand that. But also, maybe it is. Would you, if you were able to go back and do it again, do you think you would hire less with more intent of looking for people passionate?
I actually I actually quite enjoyed the fact when I started, I was like, oh my god, I have 10 interns. And those interns literally just put in their bios Velric, and they would just post about Velric, right? Even though they barely did any like actual work. But what it helped gain Velric followers, and it helped put the vision out there. So I don't actually regret onboarding too many interns. It was just the fact that I could have used that time to really lock in on the product and actually hire people who would bring the product exponentially up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But basically saying that social media is not everything, but it is valuable.
Mhm.
I agree.
Well, speaking about social media and perception and whatnot, a lot of people worry about how AI is becoming intertwined in everything. I mean, like
Right.
me and you, we love it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that see AI and then now job hiring, and it's like, oh no, it's getting into everything. And so I'm
Uh,
curious, how have people not in your direct space reacted to the idea, both people that are technically minded and people that are not?
Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. Just a few days ago, there's like a new Washington Square Journal, which is the NYU News,
Hmm.
independently run, not by the school. They were criticizing NYU about how they used AI art in one of their newsletters. And it was like a whole criticism piece. And there were multiple Tish kids writing in the comments, oh my God, pay an actual student, or do this, or pay somebody to actually make art. What this is, this. And I, being the oddball that I am, I commented, "I love this. I love that the university is expanding its horizons, and it's NYU is not staying back. They're actually adapting to the new technologies there are. Because if think about it, if people kept saying this throughout the years, then we wouldn't have photography, right? We wouldn't have. We actually had a really solid discussion about this in one of our classes as well. That what is the evolution of art? It started off with painting, but then did people have the same reaction when photography came out? Is photography considered an art because it takes so much less time to take a picture, right? Now, at the same time, now you have AI art, which I still consider it's still a version of art because you still have somebody prompting the AI to make something for you. Um, and I was the oddball, and I did receive a lot of hate comments in there, which of course, I'm gonna get because um, it's a controversial comment that I made. Well, I don't think it's controversial, but to other people, it is.
I think this is an interesting topic because from some of the conversations we've had and just like what I think, if it doesn't tell you that it's created by I think that to me feels a little wrong. It's like, okay, well, this looks like something someone made, and then I found out it's AI, and it's like, oh, you're tricking me in some way, right? But then it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
This is made by AI. Oh, well, okay, cool. Like, I guess someone made that, and it's maybe not as impactful to me personally as like, oh, wow, this is a Van Gogh painting that was made hundreds of years ago, and it's hand carefully made. It's sure it's someone prompting him, so there is an act of artful and creativity in your brain that you're transferring and communicating, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's an interesting debate to have.
Yeah, it is. In my opinion, I'll be outright honest. I think a lot of artwork is just like you will always hear teachers say in English class, "Oh, interpret in this and that way." Oh, what do you think the author meant when he wrote that? Maybe the author just wanted to write. Maybe it really wasn't that deep. It's nothing's real. In my opinion, nothing really is that deep, which teachers and artists make it to be. And I'm gonna say it outright there. I think artists make things way too deep. Like things do not matter that much, which to the point where they have to be like, "Oh my god, every single little detail. This means something." No, it doesn't. Maybe it's just an apple on a tree.
Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
sorry, that's so funny. Uh,
So
yeah, I guess it's definitely interesting. The AI and art, and film, and like how people
Yeah.
have so many varying opinions and varying degrees of commitment to their belief is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, for me, if it's like for film, let's say if a film was made fully by AI and had no actors, I would honestly, if it's entertaining enough, and if it is, let's say, a horror genre and it makes me feel scared, I would consider it a good film. I don't care how it was made. If it's making me feel that emotion, then I would consider it being a good film. Again, I wouldn't go into the analytics of, oh, what did the director mean when he made this that. Like, I feel like they put too much emphasis on the, oh, what did they mean by that. I think that a lot of it is just BS.
I do think
yeah.
though that there is some aspect of if you're watching a film, I think at least currently AI is not good enough to make it where
Oh,
there is
100%.
meaning, right?
Mm.
Because so
Yeah.
for example,
I mean,
What you're saying is more of like a future, like you
future
wouldn't
thing. Yeah,
care
yeah.
if
I mean,
it's not good enough.
yeah, because you can see AI avatars. They look like they don't have souls in their eyes. Like they, I don't know how to describe it, but it really looks like they don't have a life to them. Like you
well,
could feel that. That's something that's in the obvious.
that's exactly what I was going to say because I watched this TED talk once where it was a guy demonstrating how AI is already really good at helping you produce music, right? He's a
Hmm.
producer. And so he was using AI to recreate like Ariana Grande or something. And so he was
Right,
like, okay, I'm going to play two songs, both from Ariana Grande. One is actual Ariana Grande, one is AI,
right.
right? And so there's a huge stage and a big audience. He plays the first song, sounds great, sounds like her, and then they clap and everything. He's like, okay, now the second song. Sounds exactly the same for the first 3 seconds. And then she walks out on stage in front of them, and people go crazy because you're seeing the human interaction. And I know,
Hmm.
obviously, with a film, this is something you're watching on a screen, right? And so you're
Right,
not interacting it with it the same as a live performance. But to your point,
right.
I think there is some level of the human touch that I don't know. It's certainly not there yet, and it'll be interesting to see if it gets there in the next.
Yeah, that's it. 100% will be interesting when it comes to AI songs. if it is, I think it's all up to the person. If it is enjoyable for you, then listen to it. If it's not enjoyable for you, don't listen to it. But do not criticize AI and innovation. I think that's wrong. I think people need to be pro innovation, because if this is like the times where people like, it's like when maybe Columbus tried to sail over there. They probably thought, "Oh, he's nuts. What are you doing? What do you mean you want to build a boat and get out of here?" Uh, it's like, if you stop restricting it, then we're not gonna get anywhere. I think innovation always needs to be there, no matter what. And it's your personal choice. If you personally don't hear, if you can't figure out if something's AI or not, but if you enjoy it, listen to it or watch it.
Yeah.
But if you don't enjoy it, because there's a lot of things that we don't enjoy, a lot of songs that we don't enjoy, which are real, a lot of films that we don't enjoy that are not real, don't watch it. It's all up to personal preference and what the person wants.
Yeah, for sure. I think to your point about we wouldn't have America if someone didn't decide to get on a boat and be
Ex-
crazy, right? I think
exactly.
there's an aspect to entrepreneurs where you have to be slightly delusional and overly
Exactly.
confident.
Exactly. I made a LinkedIn post about that as well. I said basically, if you aren't, people called me delusional because I said, "Hey, I'm gonna have $10 million in ARR by the end of next year, and then I'm going to have another ambitious goal of making that into $100 million in ARR." And people have kept saying, "Hey, that's delusion. You're delusional. No, you're not gonna do that. Cluely hasn't even done that." I'm like, okay, who are these people to tell me I can't do that? I mean, I think the first blockage is the fact of thinking in your mind you can't do that. That's the first blockage. If you think that, you're never gonna get there. You're not gonna get there by luck. But if you, it's all about, it's really about how you think about it. If you know, and if you think about the fact that, hey, this is my goal and I need to reach here, then you at least have a chance of getting there, right? You don't have that mental blockage. The sky's the limit. It's like the top of your head is the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. I played golf in high school, and
Yeah.
one thing that you always hear is aim small and you miss small, right? So if you're
Hmm.
standing on a hole and you say, I'm going to aim at that tree from that branch to that leaf from
Yeah.
300 yards away, well, even if you don't hit the leaf, your mind is so focused on, I want to be exactly right there, that if you miss it by a little bit, well, in the grand scheme of things, you're still in a good spot and you're not like, oh, I just need to go out there somewhere,
Yeah.
anywhere, right? Um,
Hmm.
and I think that's a really good point you bring up, because if you can't even imagine yourself starting a business or reaching $1
Yeah.
million in your first year, or 10 million
Yeah.
or 100 million, whatever it is, even getting your first client, you're not going to do. So,
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I might be delusional. Yeah, maybe it is physically impossible, but the fact is that, oh, Elon Musk has done physically impossible things, right? I think he's almost reached to a point where he's the first halfway to a trillion, right? If I'm not wrong, he's reached that mark. Nobody thought anybody would be able to do that, right? The sky is your limit. It's all inside your head. If you believe that you can do something, then you probably can.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah. I want to take a little bit more time to go back to how your software is going to work because I'm just curious about it.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
and kind of on the train that I was going down before we kind of went down the rabbit hole of AI.
Yeah, yeah.
um, like another concern about that people will have with regards to AI is, well, one, consistency and bias. Now, obviously, in this specific circumstance, bias is an important element.
Yeah.
Um, but I think a fair question is how can you make sure that it's consistent between, like, assuming you have two people with equal credentials, how can you ensure that they're going to receive consistent scores and not have any inappropriate bias attributed to them?
Right. I mean, the AI can't really see the AI really can't see the dynamics of this person, right? They can't see if the person is a woman or the person is a man. They can't see the race of the person. All they see is the statistics, and all they see is the work of the person. And first of all, I think it's impossible, well, not impossible, but I think it's very difficult to have the same people who write the exact same thing and have the exact same LinkedIn and have the exact same, because the AI will make none of these missions will be remotely the same. The AI will be making up fake scenarios in its own system, like fake companies, fake companies, fake data sheets, and then sometimes a mission might be harder, and sometimes a mission might be not that difficult. And I don't think there's a way of eliminating that very little bias that you'll have, but I can 100% guarantee that it will be a system that would be better than what we have right now.
That's yeah, for sure. It's something kind of interesting. I think maybe, real quick answer. I'm really curious. How long ago did you
100%.
start this?
About 4 months, 3 of those months, which I was still learning on how to run a business, how to do a startup. So realistically, I would say that I've been fully locked in on this for a month and a half. But
Wow.
the vision, I started working on it, I would say 3 months ago. I started getting my first interns on 2 or 3 weeks after the idea itself.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
Yeah.
that's very impressive. Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, I think it might have been in July when I had a fun idea, kind of similar to what you're doing, but different.
Yeah.
And well, I didn't act on it. You have, which is awesome. But something, and I'm kind of curious to hear what you'd think, based on what I had, was making like, I guess this kind of goes into like the thing that's been happening recently with agentic networks,
Right.
and how you effectively have an AI representative for you that is personally trained to you and would effectively advocate for you. And then you'd have the same thing for the employer's perspective. And then you have these AIs that would talk to each other.
Oh my God. The scenario literally came up a week ago where somebody who didn't get the product, understand the product too well. They were like, hey, why don't you create an AI system where the AI replicates the exact potential of the human being, and and then they do the mission for the person. I'm like, this was my reaction. I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I was like,
Mhm.
I was speechless. It was so funny, and it was so stupid
Mhm.
at the same time. Because yes, that's of course the thing, but that's the reason why we're also developing our own anti-cheat system.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking that as as another option, like instead of having a scoring system, I guess it would be like your own personalized representative or advocate, that communicated, and instead of having to throw out a resume, you kind of share this advocate, and
Like
then
like an AI recommendation sort of thing.
almost, well, almost like
Have an
in the
AI recommend for you.
in the same way that your missions create scenarios, that you can be tested on, effectively these you'd have two AI trained networks that would effectively communicate in a virtual simulation and figure out how to talk based on what you prompt it, and is like,
Mhm.
interesting. But I'm fascinated by the fact that you've actually accomplished what you have with the approach that you've taken. So
Wes, I'm
Yeah.
imagining like a hologram sitting across from me, like as fake me interviewing for something. That's what I'm imagining when you're saying this. That's pretty funny.
I mean, there's a
It's
lot of fun things you can imagine with that. Because I mean, like
at that point. Yeah. No, go ahead, please.
I mean, it's like for me, I was like thinking, I was like, oh, okay, that would be really interesting in the fact that you could have that AI advocate into being interviewed and interviewing another, by an interviewer, and you can have that across 100 businesses all at once, and within seconds, minutes, maybe, depending on how long the conversation goes in AI time.
I think we're just going into a really big loophole or a big rabbit hole, because if you think about it, if you're making an AI who does the recruiting, and if you're making an AI who does who's trying to get hired, an AI who's trying to get hired, and an AI who's trying to recruit, at that point, why not just build an LLM or an AI to just do the task itself? Why just go through that process of hiring an AI? Like in my mind, that just sounds so stupid. In my mind, that just sounds so stupid. You need an AI to do your books. You need an AI accountant. Why would you have an AI interview an AI who can do your account? Like just make it yourself, or talk to the person who actually made the AI, or you know,
Oh,
that it's a rabbit hole.
Well, and that's one thing I appreciate about Velric and what you're trying to do, because one of the very first things you said was you still have to do the interview. The interview
Yeah,
is
you
very
still
important.
have to do the interview because you're working with this person, right? And I feel like I truly believe that when you're working with somebody, you have to be able to have fun with them. You need, especially if you're working at a higher senior level position, you guys need to be locked in, because they're like your family. These people you're spending 8 to 9 hours a day with, right? Or hopefully more. They have to be somebody tolerable. They have to be somebody that you can work with personally, or somebody who is fit for the company, somebody who's fit for the team, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't have a super cracked person, but a very problematic person for the team at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've got another question that Wes somewhat brought up earlier. So you said that when I'm coming onto Velric to input all my information and get my score, I get a
Yeah.
personal mission statement from the Velric AI, right? So
No, you get your personalized mission, and it's not a mission that it would. Yeah. You get a personalized mission, and these are missions which you can, which would be generated right away in the matter of minutes.
that's right.
Um,
I understand where I
and
messed up there. Okay, yeah,
yeah, hold on. I'm gonna turn on my lights real quick. It's getting dark. Give me 2 seconds.
that was good.
There we go. That's better.
Awesome. Yeah, I understand where I messed up. That was before I think I was fully understanding the missions. So that makes sense. However, I do have a second part to this question. So um, I'm applying and going through Velric. Just like a resume, I could kind of beef up my own scores, right? So
Of course, no, you can beef up what you input, but then it's like, can you do what you say? Can you do what you say? Can you do what you say you can do? Right? Then the AI is going to test you a bit harder.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's the thing I really like about this, because you're right. When you're doing a resume, it's like, well, I'm reading all these amazing things about you, but like, do you actually do them? And
Yeah.
The more you keep explaining this, I'm really liking it, because it seems a lot more practical. Like I would use this to hire for my business, because I would want to know, hey, this person can do what I want them to do. I didn't have to test them out. I still want to get to meet them and everything, but I'm not just reading resumes and being like, well, that sounds great, but I need to ask you a ton more questions when you come in an interview.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but the fact is, and then when you're doing the interview, you can forget about asking the person on figuring out during the interview, are they speaking the truth when they're telling about the resume. You could really connect with the person. You can really talk to the person and get a feeling for who they are, instead of actually worrying about the fact, can they do what they say, what they said on their resume, right? Because you are only going to go to that next step of the interview when you know, this guy has a good score. Velric has recommended me this person. He will, of course, be good for the company and for what he says he can do.
Yeah, the interview can be more focused on the person and their attitude and their general fit in the company, as opposed to the technical qualifications.
Exactly. Like, for example, for a biz dev person, or for a person who has to do a lot of meetings in a day, you obviously don't want a person who's like really ultra shy. Of course they can have all their information. They could ace that test. They could ace that mission. But the interview itself, it needs to, they need to get the sense of that person.
So
go for it, Turner.
So for a company, a large company that wants to use Velric to hire,
Mhm.
How does that work? So obviously they'll have some enterprise deal with you, and then
Yeah.
we all train them through your software. How does that
Nope.
structure look?
So we're going to there's a specific reason why we're building our own LLM and not just Chat GPT wrapping it. What every single company that we're going to onboard, our AI system is going to have such an in-depth knowledge about that company that they're before a recruiter's even able to type in the words, the AI will know what type of person this company doesn't want. So it will be so specified towards a company, and the onboarding process, I truly believe, it won't even take half a day. It will literally take because of course majority of the companies that we're going to be working with are going to be public on Google. It's not all of the information is going to be online, so it will already know all of that information. And plus, if there's any other information that the AI should know, of course the company is going to tell the AI or tell us, and we're going to put it into the AI. But we're we're going to our mission is speed, right? We want to get things done quickly. Let's say if you're a company, you're hiring 10,000 people in a year, we can get you set up right away because we are going to have that infrastructure ready for you guys right away. It will take your HR team less than half a day for for you to log in on your computers and start setting up your individual dashboards, because each HR person will probably have their individual dashboards as well, because somebody from HR, they probably don't know too much about they probably only know a little bit about a few specific industries, right? They have their forte of hiring that they need to do. So of course the AI will adapt to everything. It's a very adaptable AI to a specific person, and that's the reason why we're trying to build our own LLM, and that's why we are looking to actually raise $1 million for our first round, because we are going to be innovating the heck out of this tech. And we're going to be putting a lot of money into the product itself, because we want this to be the competitor of OpenAI. We want this to be a competitor of Gemini. I mean, we want it to be better than all of those AIs already are.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember my question there. So from the user standpoint, will they have a single score, or would they have a score for different aptitudes? If they, like, say for Turner, for example, I mean, you're doing a business minor and music, and so you have these two different things, and say, would you get a score for each different thing, or just one score for the individual?
For the individual, right now, it's going to be one score. We are still exploring ways on how we would want to adapt that system, because, of course, somebody will be good in multiple different things, right? So it's all going to be dependent on what their main specialty is, because everybody has their main forte and the main job that they want to get. But again, everything will impact your field. Like, let's say, for example, somebody's really good at business and they're really good at finance. So of course, looking at their resume, the AI will create a mission based off of that. And then again, recruiters in the AI box, they're looking for somebody like that. Boom! Guess who's the first one that pops up?
Yeah.
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 Along
Interesting.
along similar lines, what if there's someone who, say you've been an actor your entire life, and
Yeah.
at 40 you decide, hey, I want to get into marketing. And
Right.
so all of your experience is this acting company, this opera house, this whatever, right?
Yeah.
In current resume world, you could hope and pray that you get into an interview through whatever experience you have at
You're right.
some place. And then in an interview, you'd have to impress the person enough that they would want to hire you to do the marketing job. So
Yeah.
for Velric, if I'm someone who has this acting ground, I go on, input all my experience. I get a mission for some marketing plan or strategy that I have to put together. What do I do? Like, is that
Well,
possible?
first of all, you would have to indicate to the AI that you are looking for job. Like we'll have a questionnaire, like we'll probably have another question that says, "Hey, what industry are you looking your job for?" So it will all the mission will be based off of that. So you would most likely get a marketing mission, but it would be very adaptive to your experience that you've already have. It will be a marketing mission that would somehow be related to acting, and then the recruiters will be able to see that recruiters can see what exactly the mission that they have done. And of course, if if the person wants to go into marketing, they need to have some sort of experience or skill, right? Because you can't go to a job to get trained, because you can that it's a tough question. You can go to a job to get trained, but at the same time you need to be benefiting the company in some sort of way, right? So there's the gray point there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I recognize that that's not at all majority of people. Majority of people are like, I did marketing in college. I've been doing this my whole life, trying to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
And so maybe that is a situation where you need more of the in-person connection, at least in the beginning.
exactly. And our system's there to say, hey, if you're saying you can do this, can you actually do this? That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we're analyzing. And we're saying, hey, you're saying you can do this, do it and get hired. So if if the actor is saying that, he knows to some point to do some sort of marketing things, then he will indicate, I've done this little marketing internship where I did this A B C D, and then based off of that, the AI will make the mission based off of that.
Mhm.
So the next question I want to kind of get into, you mentioned y'all are trying to raise right now and you're starting beginning that process. As CEO, this is, I assume, all on you, and something you're
Yeah.
working on. So
Yeah.
why don't you explain to us and the listeners where you're at in the process, what you have upcoming, whether it's pitching to VCs, angels, whatever you're trying to do, and
Yeah.
your plan to implement it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this: we weren't even planning to raise beforehand. We were thinking, oh, we'll get a one-time investment, and we'll get like 100K from somebody or something like that. But as soon as we started pitching these ideas to companies, and again, these were companies who actually reached out to us through LinkedIn. We haven't actually started reaching out to anyone as of yet. Um, but when we started pitching and showing what we have to companies who reached out to us, not only did they love the product, they said, hey, we love it. So not only did they want to pilot the product, they were like, we love the product so much that, hey, can we put in 100 grand? Can we put in 200 grand? Hey, can we put in 300 grand? So at that point I was getting multiple offers like that. So I was like, why not start a fund? Why not start a fund? And I decided on a specific amount and how much equity I want to give, because we will be raising multiple series, and of course that with that the vision of the company expanded a lot as well. And then I made that goal. Hey, if I'm getting $1 million in funding, what would be fair to the investors at the valuation that I'm giving at? I need to make $10 million in ARR, and I need some way or the other to figure that out. And I made like a 50-page plan of how I'm going to do it, right? And it's important that I reference back to that plan again and again, so I don't let down the investors, I don't let down anybody, and I am true to myself and true to that vision that I have. Um, and right now within the process, we're just waiting for the product to be done for demoing. Like I said, we have had some delays there, so things are getting pushed back, but we have a bunch of investors who are very interested already. But they, of course, as this is very reasonable, they want to see what we have. Of course, they aren't just going to put money in like something I say I'm going to do. Of course, again, proof of work, they want to see what we have. So that's what we're currently waiting on. We're waiting for the product to be ready. And while the product is being done, me and Ashlyn are really going to promote as much growth as we can.
And how have you been received as being so young?
I think most of it is very positive. I have gone to some events and where people have been like, oh, you're young, and they shoo me off. But I think majority of the people, especially in the world right now, people know about Cluely. People know about these huge AI tech startups being funded by YC, um, and everybody's really young. People are dropping out back and forth out of college because the way that education is happening, it's so much different than it used to be. People are learning by actually doing rather than actually getting a degree. One of our marketing tactics is also the fact that you don't need a degree to get hired. If you can do something, if you're self-taught, prove it and get hired right away, right? Because credentials are changing left and right. The way that we learn, the way that we study, the way that we do business now is changing left and right as well. And I don't think a classic college lecture is fast enough to keep up with the change.
Yeah. So, what do you see as obviously? I think you see experience as more valuable.
Yeah, 100%. And what you can do, right?
Right. Absolutely. And so, do you have any thoughts on how the education system might be able to change with the times to be more valuable?
Yeah, I mean, the education system is changing, but I think it just needs to be as fast and as dynamic as how the real life industry is also changing. Um, a degree, I think a lot. In the future, I see a lot of ways that people are just getting degrees online, and I see a lot of the ways that people are just going to be starting work right away, while maybe getting some learning in and then upskilling from there on, rather than going to school for 4 years and then going to work, because a 4 years is a lot of time and a lot of things can change, right? So in my opinion, it's better to learn as you're working than to fully learn first and then start working, because by the time you're in your 4th year, things that you learn in your first and second year probably wouldn't matter because they've already changed so much, right? So that's what I think. That's what I believe is the future. I feel like people are learning in different ways. Like I personally I've learned more from conversations that I have in events than I have from all of my school being combined. I've learned more ever since I've taken a leave of absence from school and started going to events, started talking to people. I've learned from more from there than I would say than all my high school years and all my college experience that I've had.
Yeah, I think Wes and I agree. The majority of learning, we're both at Abilene Christian and Abilene, Texas, and we love this school. I have certainly enjoyed being here.
Yeah.
But I do think that the growth I've experienced has been through my business, through the podcast, through events outside of school, through having
Yeah.
conversations in the dorm room late at night or early in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
I know Wes and I, we've talked about this a lot, but I think that's certainly more valuable than the way we're being taught currently.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
me, it's
especially for
people.
entrepreneurs. Yeah, 100%. Especially for people who want to go into business and that's what they want to dedicate their life to. Uh, school is a tough one, but for people who want to go into the workforce, people who want to do jobs in the future, I think schooling is important. Um, but getting real life and practical education is at a little bit more important than actual textbook work as well, because in real life you're using your common sense. You're not just looking out of a textbook, because new scenarios that have never popped up in real life will keep popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Wes,
Yeah.
you were talking about the people.
Oh, I was just gonna. That was really all I was gonna say. Was just that for me, it's definitely been people and relationships that have been the
Yeah.
big thing that I've taken away from college.
Yeah.
And personal development.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, Wes, you want to kind of ask our final question?
Sure.
You
I
have any
mean,
thoughts?
we've got our final question. Well, we've got our question that we typically end with, and then I've got one more
Gotcha.
after that. So the question that we always end with is, what advice would you have for other people your age or younger, freshmen in college, that age?
um Depending on what they want to do, let's say I'm going to take this for people who want to go into entrepreneurship and build their thing. uh my biggest advice would be to lock in. If you're calling yourself a founder while working only 2 hours on your product on a day, then I'm sorry, you're not going anywhere. Luck is not going to help you. luck only helps you once you work 16 hours a day. That's when luck kicks in. That's when you can get lucky. So people who have gotten lucky, they get lucky after they've put in that work. And I'm a strong believer of that. I think back to the advice part though. I think you just need to like lock in and work. And really try to bring in results. When you say you're validating your product or I'm getting product feedback, that no product feedback, no validation should take more than 2 days or 3 days. You shouldn't be putting weeks into, oh, I'm validating my product, or what do people think about it? Ask 10 people, 10 people like it. That's good enough for you. Start it right away. And then you can always add tweaks. You can pivot. You could always pivot a little based on more feedback as you go. But the thing is just to get started and just to do it. Doesn't matter how you do it. Everybody's going to have their different ways, and you're going to learn as you go. And I think that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because at least you're doing something.
Absolutely. And so you don't know this, but one of our previous guests, his name is Okaris Mirandu. He is from Auburn, and he has a company where he installs electric vehicle chargers.
Right.
He said a quote that stuck with us. He said, "Luck is where hard work meets opportunity."
Yeah.
And that's essentially what you're saying. It's like you aren't going to get lucky until you've spent the time to give yourself an opportunity for luck to take place, right?
Exactly. 100% agreed.
It's amazing to hear all of y'all say the same thing because it really validates that it's true, right?
Yeah. I completely agree with them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wes, you got one more?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a fun one. I'm going to end on a spicy note here. So,
okay, I'm ready.
Playing devil's advocate, give us the best argument for the resume.
Best argument for the resume. Oh. Maybe it might be fun for some OCD people to make. I think that's the best answer I could give you.
It's funny when you get a resume. So the place I interned at over the summer and was working for them, I was helping kind of screen some resumes, and I got some that were like super pretty and colorful, and like I was like, this doesn't have anything. You don't have any experience on here. You just spent all the time making it look pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best answer I could give you. I think for people who really like design and really like to have fun with the text, and it's like those high school girls where you're like learning about something really sad, but then they would like highlight everything with colorful rainbow highlighters. You know, that I think that's the only pros that you get to see. Unique, maybe once in a while you'll get to see a unique resume out there, which is like, oh, this one's designed interestingly, but I bet you that person probably doesn't have anything worthwhile on their resume.
Very cool. That's a fun answer. Awesome. So where can tell the people where they can find Velric and where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on LinkedIn. Just search up my first name, last name, Mahir Laul. And then Velric is just simple. Our SEO, even though we haven't worked on it, is somewhat amazing. You could just search up Velric, VELRIC, or you could write VELRIC.ai. That will take you right to our website. And yeah, it's super easy to find.
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
I've had a blast. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was great talking with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Alrighty, that's right.
Awesome. Yep.
Awesome.